I don't know how to work this mic stand, so hang on. There it goes. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it works. The human race is very new to this planet, so I think it's very unwise of us to start naming everything already. For instance, take the seahorse. The seahorse is this dopey-looking fish where the dads get pregnant. It looks kind of like a horse. It has the right head shape, but that is where the similarities end. You see, there's a lot in the ocean that we just don't know about, and there's nothing stopping some marine biologist tomorrow from discovering something that lives under the sea and just is a horse. You know, looks exactly like a horse, but with like gills and a mermaid tail or something. Maybe a mane made of seaweed. The thing is, we can't call that a seahorse because we already gave that name to the dopey-looking fish where the dads get pregnant. Imagine trying to explain to your children, or your children's children, how we missed that boat. So, we have this horse that lives under the ocean. Yes, son. But that's not the seahorse. No. Whereas, we have this dopey-looking fish where the dads get pregnant. Yes. And good use of whereas for like a 6-year-old. And that's the seahorse? Yes. Why is that not the pregnant dad fish? First of all, son, that name is terrible and unnerving. And secondly, you don't understand. You've only ever lived in a world where the underwater horse was an undeniable scientific fact. Don't ask me why, but we just assumed for centuries that the seahorse was the closest we would ever come to finding a horse that lived in the ocean. I mean, I'm sorry. Although, to be entirely fair to the English language, we're relatively good at naming it. French. The French word for seahorse comes from a Greek word that means horse, monster. Now, if that's the name you choose to give to this little guy, you have very low expectations. Not only for horses, but also for monsters. Speaking of things that sound a lot more terrifying than they actually are, I love the conspiracy theories about the Illuminati and the Freemasons controlling the world through mass media, because they must be very bad at running the world through mass media. If your only method of communication is through music videos and movies and advertisements, you're gonna run into some efficiency issues, inevitably. I mean, imagine, oh, I forgot to pick up the milk today. No, it's okay, don't text. Just get Lady Gaga, have her put a symbol in her music video, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. It'll be okay. Okay, so maybe they have emails and newsletters and etc. for the small stuff, and they just use the codes for big stuff. But that's the thing, they're codes, symbols, open to symbolic subjective interpretation. What happens when you get the Illuminati member that's not all that bright, or the Freemason who didn't study enough Near Eastern mythology? Oh, where were you? I was waiting for an hour. I'd sound like I'm putting subconscious pentagrams in the trail of Farango for my health here. Oh, darn it, was that a pentagram? I thought it was one of those the pyramids with the eyeball on top out. Anyway, I got the milk for you. So. Now, I should, as a disclaimer, just so nobody's offended, I should tell you, I'm allowed to make jokes like that, because my grandfather was a Freemason. No, it's true. I'm Irish, Italian, Russian, and Freemason. I knew that wouldn't go over, it's just too ridiculous. Imagine, my own grandfather, part of an institution that's dedication to tradition and secrecy has been so long misinterpreted as elitism that they always are interpreted as a clandestine cabal that runs the world through media domination. It's ridiculous. No, my grandfather was actually Jewish. Fair enough. Even more ridiculous than that are the conspiracy theories about the CIA or the Mafia assassinating people. You see, I'm just not crazy enough to believe in assassination conspiracy theories. But I'm exactly crazy enough to believe in time travel assassination conspiracy theories. I mean, who in 1881 would have thought that James Garfield was evil enough that he had to die? No one, exactly. Unless they were from the future dystopia where James Garfield declares himself the dictator of the United States of Garfieldia. Sure. Sure, it starts with reforming the Postal Service, but who knows what he was planning for 1882. I hope everyone who came here tonight was looking for a reason not to give me access to a time machine, because that's exactly what you're going to get. If I had a time machine, I would bring back some stodgy, pipe-smoking 19th century British aristocrat. And what I would do is, I would take him to an arts and crafts store. Because eventually, that pipe that he's smoking is going to get dirty. Very dirty. And eventually, he's going to need a pipe cleaner. And I want... No, I'm not done. And I want to watch as this stodgy British aristocrat becomes so utterly confounded as to why such a utilitarian disposable item as a pipe cleaner is now in the fantastic future of 2011. I guess this is taking place in the future as well. The fantastic future. This utilitarian disposable item is used primarily as a brightly colored neon item for children to play with. I want him to be so very, very confused why we still call this item, which is largely used for arts and craft, a pipe cleaner, as a throwback to some archaic tradition. And then after the arts and crafts debacle, I would probably have to calm him down. So I guess we would probably go to laser tag. And then after he's calmed down, maybe he can explain to me why they call it a seahorse. Thank you.